Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The Albanese government is copping criticism for its big spending budget, giving $300 energy rebates to everyone, from those struggling with the cost of living through to millionaires, even billionaires. But the Treasurer is unapologetic, saying it's all part of his push to bring inflation down. Well, for Tasmania, the federal budget brings some relief for renters, as well as those paying household power bills. But when it comes to the state's infrastructure, some are saying Tasmania has been left off the map.
So what does the federal budget mean for Tasmanians? While there's welcomed relief for those struggling to pay their power bills, a Tasmanian peak body is calling for a more selective approach when it comes to power rebates.
We would like to see any relief provided by the government to be targeted at those people who are least able to afford their energy bills and really need the additional support.
There are fears the Commonwealth rent assistance falls short of what's actually needed and is not enough to keep up with Tasmania's rising cost of rent.
Rents have gone up by $70 a fortnight, while the maximum rate of rent assistance is only going up by $50 a fortnight.
The state's infrastructure in the budget limelight, with funding sent to provide upgrades to the Lyell Highway and the Mornington roundabout.
It literally means jobs, so it gives our industry the confidence to keep employing people, keep investing in training people and investing in equipment.
The state government saying it's all words and no action.
We've been working very closely with federal counterparts in relation to the LGH master plan, in relation to the Tamar Bridge, and even in the south in projects like Wailankta Road.
Mr Ferguson contends the budget is inflationary and Tasmanians should prepare for pain ahead.
Tasmanians, unfortunately, will have to brace for elevated interest rates going forward and interest rates not coming down as quickly as they otherwise would.
Now all heads turn to the Tasmanian government when it delivers its state budget in September. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
A controversial structure of a former Tasmanian Premier has been cut down and defaced. William Crowther's statue has long caused community fury because of his actions sending Aboriginal remains overseas.
Just hours before a decision to remove it from where it stood since 1889, William Crowther's statue tumbled to the ground.
You are not welcome here on Aboriginal land. Chop him up like he did to our people.
Cut at the ankles, this is all that remains of the controversial former Premier's landmark, known for stealing the head of an Aboriginal man and sending the remains overseas. What goes around, painted across the plinth.
Today is a great day for the memory of William Lennie, whose body was mutilated by this man, William Crowther, because of his race.
Police this morning scouring the scene for clues as to who's responsible, after Hobart Council increased patrols in the area overnight.
We condemn vandalism. Vandalism doesn't build bridges, it doesn't build goodwill. It is unlawful, and so it's disappointing.
The tribunal Tascats officially backed Council's decision to remove the statue this morning, originally pitched in August.
Yeah, it should have been done a long time ago, and we're glad to see it's been done today.
Council won't reveal where the statue's being kept, but says it will put up a temporary sign explaining a plan for the future of the space. It will then begin the task of commissioning a new work. The community now has 30 days to appeal Tascat's decision and have a say on the space, but the plinth will remain.
A plaque explaining the history of Crowther's misdeeds and why the statue was taken down would definitely be a good start.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Vinnie's is continuing its fight for a women's shelter to be built in central Hobart, confirming it's appealing Hobart City Council's decision against the Argyle Street project. Councillors voted to oppose it last week, citing noise and parking concerns. Since then, Vinnie's says there has been an outpouring of support from the community. The charity says it's crucial the project goes ahead during a cost of living and housing crisis. A Devonport driver is thanking bystanders who jumped to his aid moments before a train smashed into his ute. He'd become stuck on the tracks, the train driver unable to stop in time.
Dozens of wagons hauling hundreds of tonnes sit blocking Stony Rise Road near Devonport after smashing into a ute at a level crossing around 6 a.m, pushing it 50 metres down the tracks.
Trains cannot swerve, they cannot go left, they cannot go right, and they cannot stop quickly.
The ute's driver says he swerved to avoid a wallaby becoming stuck. Council workers springing to his aid.
They tried to move it, but they couldn't move it. Mind you, when the boys said, get out, Brad. And that's what I've done.
Rob managing to jump from his ute just in time.
And got a call from one of my best mates and said, Brown, you better go and see your old man. I think he's been in an accident. And yeah, I come flying around the corner and yeah, here we go with old Dad up in the train line, train up his backside.
Nobody's injured, but the train's operators are shaken up.
As they've approached that stranded vehicle on the track, they're not really sure if there's people still inside the vehicle. Fortunately, there was no injuries, but again, a very distressing situation for them.
Crossings reopened and trains are rolling through again with no major damage done to rail infrastructure. A few minor repairs, all that was needed, but an important reminder following a spate of incidents in the state's north.
Please respect the trains out on the network, follow road rules and level crossing safety, and please stay away from the corridor.
In the day, wasn't there the council bloke? I could have been still in it. Yeah. It's mine to be here now.
Police are recommending safety improvements be made to the crossing, including clearer road markings. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
Police are appealing for more witnesses to a crash on the Brooker Highway yesterday afternoon, which seriously injured a pedestrian. They say the 38-year-old man was struck while trying to cross the highway south of the intersection with Derwent Park Road in busy traffic. The driver was taken to hospital for mandatory blood and alcohol testing. Anyone who saw the incident is asked to come forward. TT Line is facing a budget blowout over the new Spirit of Tasmania vessels, forced to pay an extra $80 million. The secret payment and a problem with the Devonport berth redevelopment revealed in State Parliament question time.
A return to the cut and thrust of question time, where there's always a warning for rough seas.
Your government or the TT Line has agreed to additional taxpayer funds being provided to the Finnish shipbuilder.
€50 million or 80 million Australian dollars paid to Finnish shipbuilder RMC.
I am further advised the alternative was to potentially have to go back to market for a new ship that would have cost more and resulted in a significant additional delay.
It's also had to renegotiate with the preferred tenderer to redevelop the Devonport berth needed to accept the larger ships. TT Line says that process is almost at conclusion, while the extra funds to RMC were a commercial matter.
The government promised these way back in 2021, and what we're seeing now is that they're going to be delayed even more.
The first regular day of Parliament also prompting questions about the Launceston General Hospital. After allegations the coroner was not notified of some deaths, 6 cases have now been referred on.
Does a report exist? Is it still your intention for it to be made public? And if so, when?
The report will be made available. The report is not complete. There was no evidence that indicate there is a systemic issue.
Whistleblower nurse Amanda Duncan, who raised the issue in Parliament, wants more clarity around the process and complaints handling.
It's my understanding that those families were not notified prior to the media release sent by the Department of Health yesterday.
The matter's been referred to AHPRA, the National Health Regulator, but not Tasmania Police. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
There are calls for the Health Minister to intervene in the closure of 2 Eastern Shore medical practices. Independent David O'Byrne says with Guy Barnett helping the after-hours doctors in Glenorchy stay open, clinics in Lauderdale and Risdon Vale shouldn't be overlooked.
And for a government to come out and justify support in one community but stay silent on another one just makes everyone upset.
We work really well hand in hand with local GP practices when they're available. It's really important in the community that people have access to primary care.
Guy Barnett says he's directed his department to provide advice on how to support residents. Young minds have put all their brain power into working out how to construct bridges, fish traps and planes at this year's Science and Engineering Challenge. Grades 9 and 10 students from 47 schools battling out for the top spot.
Well, we've been building a bridge, part of the bridge group,
And we've been trying to do triangle structures because we've heard that they're the strongest.
The program hopes to inspire the next generation of healthcare, science and technology experts.
I don't know, but everyone says I could be a great architect, so maybe.
Those behind the best creations from today will compete in the Launceston finals at the end of this month. Drivers in Devonport should allow extra travel time as work gets underway to realign Victoria Bridge, which has shifted on its pillars. The bridge deck needs to be moved about 7 centimetres to the east and be permanently fixed to the abutment. There may be single-lane closures and delays of up to 8 minutes on the Bass Highway until the end of June. New mums and bubs on the northwest coast are being offered more wraparound care with a private provider moving in. The postnatal offering has expanded into the region, looking to fill a void left by the recent changes to local maternity services.
They're the extra set of helping hands making the hospital-to-home transition a little smoother. Mum Vicky and her latest addition Jimmy spending their first few days together with some additional support.
And back in the newborn stage, you forget a lot of things, and so it was really nice to have someone who was so welcoming and made us feel really comfortable.
Offering Northwest families more post-birth options, new parents able to pick between a hotel stay or in-home care, supported by midwives and a team of health experts.
Weighing baby, providing feeding support, and just generally keeping in touch with the family.
St Luke's expanding its private postnatal service to the region, a move looking to fill a care gap 5 months after local maternity services fell back under the public health system umbrella.
New mums, when they first have baby, it can be really scary and really confronting. What we wanted to do was to provide an extra service that really supported them in those first few days of getting to know their baby.
Offering extra support and time to keep the newborn bubble intact.
Huge difference, yeah. It was nice to just have that kind of transition, particularly when you leave with medical equipment and different things hanging off you.
Victoria East 07 Tasmania News.
The state's best aged care workers have been recognised, with the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation holding its aged care conference to celebrate the dedication of the healthcare community. The conference hosting the Tasmanian Aged Care Excellence Awards.
What we expect of providers is that, so let me go through those now, there's 7 of them.
And what we're really looking for is excellence in clinical practice, but also ways in which aged clients are supported.
The lineup of guest speakers covering a wide range of topics, including diet and nutrition in aged care. A touch of Broadway is about to hit the stage in Launceston for opening night of the Australian Musical Theatre Festival. Renowned composer John Bucchino is in town for a one-night-only performance of his critically acclaimed musical revue, It's Only Life.
The possibility of living their lives from a place of love rather than a place of fear. And it's that simple and that complicated.
He'll perform alongside a talented cast of Australian performers, including a local returning home to where his career first began.
It's great to be able to see what the pinnacle is that you can achieve, and it gets you motivated to work towards that and move up.
Now in its 5th year, the festival runs until Sunday.
Just as the Tornadoes were finding their groove, they'll lose Keely Frolling again this weekend after her 31-point effort helped Launceston to their 2nd win of the NBL 1 season. But Belgian import Laura Devos is ready to fill the void, setting up plenty of opportunities last week.
Just still finding my rhythm, and I think as long as we play well on defence first, and then the rest will come.
Despite 20 points from Kayla Steinel against Melbourne and glimmers of brilliance across the roster, the Chargers' women's frustrating run continues.
The positive thing is we're putting ourselves in positions where we can win the game and putting some really positive patches of basketball together. We're just struggling to put the finishing touches on it.
The Chargers' men's coach is still looking for more time on the practice court for his imports to build chemistry with the squad, although Terrell Brown and Viontae Daniels both landed 22 points apiece in Friday's win. UTAS women are through to semi-finals in the University Basketball League after a hard-fought 56-43 win over the University of New South Wales in Sorell last night. The men, however, were eliminated by the University of Sydney this afternoon, struggling to chase down the deficit after a slow start. Hobart's Alana Smith's WNBA season is off to a flying start in the States. A career-high 22 points, most of those in the first half, helping lift her Minnesota Lynx to a 13-point win over Seattle Storm in the season opener.
Good evening. Hobart, a top of 18 today. A cold start for Launceston, 4 overnight to a top of 17. 17 also for Burnie and Devonport. Denali and Campania our high with 19 after Fingal's low of 0. St Helens and Friendly Beaches 18. 17 through Bass Strait along with Low Head and Bushy Park. Strawn 14 and the maximum for Lyowini 11. The west, northwest and the later a shower dropped over the southwest today as that cloud moved over Tasmania. A large area of middle and high cloud is over the mainland with some thunderstorm cloud over central WA. Tomorrow, the broad area of high pressure remains to our north, a cold front in the picture as well, approaching from the Southern Ocean. Winds west and northwesterly increasing to 20 to 30 knots and to 35 knots over the far south, swells to 5 metres. Gale warning has been issued for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for the southwest lakes and all remaining coastal waters apart from the far northwest coast. Hobart 18 tomorrow and partly cloudy, a shower or two for Cygnet, 17 the top and a possible shower for New Norfolk. Launceston fine and partly cloudy, 18, same for Devonport, 17 the top for Campbelltown, 3 overnight. 8 to 18 the range for Burnie and partly cloudy, a shower for Strawn, 16 the top and 18 the high for Smithton with a shower. 18 for St Helens and Swansea, sunny in the east, partly cloudy though for Fingal, a high of 17. On Friday, fresh and gusty southwest winds will bring showers to most of the state, less over the north, snow possible to 600 metres. Morning frost patches on Saturday and fine until a shower develops over the west later. Sunday morning, a few showers contracting to the west in the afternoon, the north left out in the cold without the rain. Sunny weather over Perth tomorrow, 22 and cloudy in Adelaide, sunny and 19 for Melbourne, partly cloudy weather for Canberra and Sydney, showery and 24 in Brisbane. Partly cloudy in Hobart, it's 13 right now. Partly cloudy in Launceston, 14 degrees currently. A bit clear in Devonport and 15. Now, Kim, who's going to stay together and who's just dreaming? Hurry up, we've got to get to Home and Away and find out.
I thought you were talking about Farmer Wants a Wife. Wrong show.